Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Albert, and we're listening to the Dreamers podcast where we bridge the gap between human imagination and the future of technology. Today, we're moving past the hype and the basic chat boxes to talk about the real frontier of design. We're diving deep into the generative UI in the era of AI. Stop thinking of your screen as a digital brochure, it is dead. The era of the static interface is over. We're now entering the age of a living system. Instead of a developer guessing what you might want 6 months ago and hard coding a layout, a generative UI is fluid. It breathes. It is a multimodal environment that adapts its shape, tone, and function to the specific context of the moment. If you're a power user needing complex data visualization, the interface morphs to show you charts. If you're visually impaired, it is structured for accessibility instantly. We're moving from digital artifacts that are built to digital organisms that are grown in the presence of the user. Here's a critical distinction that most people miss. Generative UI is not AI assisted design. We aren't talking about tools like Figma plugins that help a human designer work faster before a product launch. In the GenUI ecosystem, the artificial intelligence is the designer and it is working at runtime. The AI analyzes the user behavior, historical data, and immediate context to make thousands of micro decisions that a human designer could never anticipate. It decides layout, hierarchy, and interaction patterns on the fly. The AI is not just filling in the blanks of a template, it is inventing the template itself. It creates a unique interface for every single interaction, effectively scaling the concept of bespoke design to billions of users simultaneously without burning out a single human creative. So, how does this actually work in the engine room? This requires us to completely change how we build software. We stop designing fixed screens. We stop building pages. Instead, we build massive libraries of atomic components, intelligent Lego bricks. The AI acts as a master builder, reaching into this bucket of Legos and assembling a coherent, functional interface in real time. It grabs a calendar component because it knows you want to book a flight. It grabs a map component because it knows you're asking about location. It snaps them together, styles them, and presents them to you. The moment you leave, that interface dissolves. It is ephemeral. It exists only for that specific task at a specific second, assembled live for an audience of one. The defining characteristics of the coming technical era is a fundamental paradigm shift from static systems that serve content to dynamic systems that serve intent. We're moving away from fixed user interface where you're forced to navigate predefined menus just to find a scrap of information. We're entering the age of shapeshifter. In this new world, the interface is not a rigid map but a fluid stage manager that reconfigures itself around your immediate goal and context. To maintain the illusion of a living, breathing system, these interfaces must react within 100 to 200 milliseconds. In that tiny fraction of a second, the AI analyzes your behavior, selects the right components, optimizes the layout, and renders a unique solution just for you. We must abandon the old way of building fixed screens and start building libraries of atomic components, treating digital elements like Lego bricks that the AI assembles in real time to meet your needs. Right now, we're trapping the most powerful intelligence humanity has ever created inside a 700 pixel wide cardboard box. We call it a chat window. But it is really a digital coffin. It forces users their protocol obedience, making them learn prompt engineering instead of using direct manipulation. We have taken decades of progress in rich graphical user interfaces and reduced them to a single linear stream of text. That ends now. The future is a semantic cockpit. We're breaking out of the linear prison to create environments where interaction is fluid, is visual, is infinitely more capable than a simple text stream. This shift changes the very nature of creation itself. moving us from a model of selection to a model of synthesis. Think of the old design process like shopping at IKEA. You walk through a warehouse, look at pre-made options, selected what was available, and assembled the pieces at home. This is the era of selection. With generative tools, the app process is more like cooking. You now have raw ingredients and you're synthesizing something entirely new every time. We are now in the era of computational co creation, where the human provides the constraints and the direction, while the system generates novel variations and unexpected alternatives in real time. Finally, this capability unlocks extreme personalization. The segment of one. For decades, personalization meant putting your first name in the email subject. Today, it means generating a unique interface for every single human being on Earth. We are moving beyond the one size fits all mediocrity of the past, and we are building adaptive accessibility where the interface modifies visual contrast, language complexity, and layout based on who you are right now. This is not just customization, it is the end of generic user experience. We're done with the era of cute experiments. In financial services, GenUI has graduated to enterprise grade labor. Klama did not just build a customer service chatbot, they deployed a digital workforce. Their AI assistant handled over 2 million conversations in one single month. That is the equivalent workload of 700 full time human agents. Crucially, customer satisfaction scores remain identical to human interactions. This is not about farming everything out to the machine, it is about augmentation at a massive scale. 9 out of 10 Klama employees now use these tools daily to amplify their output. JP Morgan Chase is mirroring this internal revolution with their LLM suite, which now assists over 60,000 employees with research and operational tasks. The financial stakes are staggering. The banking sector projects that fully implementing these technology will unlock an additional value for up to £268 billion annually. We're witnessing a transition from simple automation to the creation of digital employees that handle high volume operations without a proportional increase in headcount. While finance focuses on volume, the research sector is using GenUI to resolve for complexity. Simple chat interfaces fail when you need to synthesize heavy data because linear text streams are too slow for expert analysis. We see the solution in the Semantic Cockpit developed by Zeta Alpha. This is a rejection of the single text box. Instead, they build a three-pane semantic war machine designed for human speed rather than conversational speed. The left pane anchors your source documents that you can index and highlight. The middle pane handles your queries and threads. The right pane auto-saves insights and builds semantic clusters in real time. This interface forces you to treat information like a system instead of a fleeting stream. It externalizes the thought process, allowing experts to visualize sources and threads simultaneously. The takeaway is clear. For knowledge-intensive domains, you must design cockpits that allow users to manipulate complex data visually rather than trapping them in a linear conversation. GenUI is also transforming how we manage logistics by killing the static dashboard. In traditional systems, a relocation manager has to hunt down problems inside a cumbersome table. The Mantel group demonstrated a shift towards proactive, intent-driven interfaces. Imagine a relocation specialist monitoring global movement. Instead of a static map, the system pushes a priority transit signal alert because a severe weather event has grounded flights. The interface instantaneously highlights that 5 employees are stranded. It does not stop at the alert. It immediately suggests 3 approved suppliers with available rooms that drafts a communication text to the affected employees. The user creates a resolution in one click. This moves us from data display to dynamic problem solving. The interface reconfigures itself based on real-time anomalies, surfacing only the most critical situations so human can act immediately rather than waste time searching for the fire. The final frontier is the death of one-size-fits-all interface. We're moving towards hyper-personalization where the UI renders itself uniquely for every single user. Take Delta Airlines and their 190 million yearly flyers. In the past, designers had to build one generic interface for everyone. With GenUI, Delta can theoretically deploy 190 million unique app experiences. If the user has dyslexia, the app detects this from their profile and automatically re-renders the text with specialized fonts and higher contrast. If a business traveler hates red-eye flights, the interface collapses these options or hides them entirely throughout the interface. This is not just changing the content, it is changing the container. We're using accessibility profiles and purchase history to dynamically re-rank content and alter aesthetics in real time. This is the shift from static navigation to fluid interfaces that adapt to the human rather than forcing the human to adapt to the software. So in the end, don't just build chatbots, build systems that adapt. The interface must become fluid. It must break out of the chat bubble prison and assemble a cockpit of tools tailored specifically to the problem you're solving right now. This is professional liberation. We stop spending our mental energy crafting the perfect prompt and start spending it on the actual work itself. When the interface adapts to the user rather than the user adapting to the interface, we stop interacting with software and start collaborating with a system that thinks as fast as we do. Thank you for your time today. I hope you enjoyed the show.